Yesterday, I declared that a big Vikings trade was going to go down soon. And I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't necessarily right either. Because the Vikings traded Mehki Blackmon to the Colts. I was right. But it wasn't the trade I was talking about. Today, we are going to discuss why and when a Adam Theilen trade is about to go down. Plus, we will discuss the Mehki Blackmon trade to the Colts as well. But let's start with the conversation that everybody wants to have, because it's not only the A topic among Vikings fans, but it is the A topic amongst Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero. You've got the big boy reporters discussing and breaking news on this Vikings-Panthers Adam Thielen scenario. And here's what Adam Schefter had to say recently. Vikings and Panthers have tried to work out a trade for Carolina receiver Adam Theilen, who would like to return to Minnesota. But the two sides continue to struggle on what the compensation is going to be. And a large amount of people think that the Vikings are acquiring so many picks right now to trade for Adam Theilen. And I have no problem with that idea. But here's what's going on. And this is really the smartest way to analyze it. So thank you for choosing today's podcast. Because the Vikings want Thielen. Thielen wants the Vikings. But unfortunately, there's a middleman. And the middleman are the Carolina Panthers. And the issue with this deal not going down yet is the Panthers hold all the power in this scenario. And the Vikings are the thirsty team. They need a receiver. The Panthers know they need a receiver. So why would the Panthers give up Adam Thielen for practically nothing when they can demand a third-round pick? The Panthers, they don't need to get rid of Thielen. They could keep him all season and have no problem with that. They have a young wide receiver room, and having Adam Thielen in that room adds value because of his knowledge and wealth of experience. So the Panthers are not going to give up Thielen for nothing, nor should they. It's smart business acumen. The Vikings are the needy team, and they hold no power in this situation. Sure, they could go out and maybe trade for a different receiver, a KJ Osborne or somebody else, but their eyes have been locked in on Adam Thielen sitting at that other table from across the room. And the Panthers know this. The Panthers know the story. They know that Thielen is from Minnesota. They get that the Vikings want him to be on their roster because he has the experience in Minnesota. Plus, he's worked out with J.J. McCarthy each of the last two off seasons. So the Panthers, they understand the process the Vikings are going through. And it's like, you need Thielen. We don't need to get rid of Thielen. We hold all the power. You are stuck with giving us what we want for Thielen if you want Thielen bad enough. And Thielen, 34, 35 years old, he's certainly not worth a third or fourth round pick at this stage of his career, but it doesn't matter. The Panthers can ask for whatever the hell they want because they hold all the chips. They hold all the power. And the Vikings, if they want to be the team that they hope to be this season, they need to give up what the Panthers want if the Vikings want Adam Thielen. So it's really what the Vikings want, because from the Panthers' perspective, why would they budge? And from the Vikings' perspective, why would you give up a third-round pick for a 34-year-old player? That's why this conversation or discussion has lasted as long as it has. And the question the Vikings need to answer within their organization is, are we going to give up more capital than we wish for Adam Thielen, or are we going to give up a 6th-round pick for a different receiver on a different team, or are we just going to sign a receiver that gets cut off the 53-man roster? So those are the questions the Vikings need to answer right now, but it appears that they want Adam Thielen, and the Panthers are just holding on to him. It's smart. Why wouldn't you? In what situation does someone or somebody hold all the power? Because the Panthers hold all the power. And the Adam Thielen Vikings-Panthers situation is like sex. It's like sex. The women hold all the power. And men, let me just tell you this. Sex is not that hard. It's not that hard to get sex. Here's my little tidbit of sex wisdom. If you want to have sex, do the dishes, clean out the dishwasher, do laundry, and your woman will attack you like crazy, okay? This situation is like sex, okay? The Panthers hold all the power. If the Vikings want to get Adam Thielen, they need to do the laundry. They need to do the dishes. They need to vacuum. They need to do everything in their power to get the Panthers horny. I'm being serious. The Panthers hold all the power. And there's nothing the Vikings can do. And if the Vikings want it bad enough, well, then they're going to do more than expected. They're going to go out of their way to make sure that the Panthers are aroused with an offer for Adam Thielen. Because the Panthers are just sitting back. I can do whatever the heck I want. I have all the power. Vikings got to make something happen, because this is as great a sex comparison as I think has ever existed. So, really, what do the Vikings want? Do the Vikings want Adam Thielen bad enough to do the dishes, to vacuum, to clean out the dishwasher, to fold the laundry? And really, that's what it boils down to. All right. That's the Adam Thielen discussion. Let's talk about another trade the Vikings made. The big trade that went down yesterday. By the way, I expect the Adam Thielen trade to go down. Eventually, the Vikings will cave and trade for Thielen. It's kind of like a hold-in that you see across the league. You see players hold in all the time, and then at the very end, they come to agreement because the team wants the player doesn't want to get fined, and eventually they make a deal happen. And we see that all across the league. Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson, it's very similar. The Vikings will trade for Thielen. All right, the Vikings do trade Mehki Blackmon to the Colts and get more draft capital. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But first, I need to tell you about 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours. And that's their promise. Full bathroom. They do part bathrooms, they do full bathrooms. But in our experience, they transformed our floor, our shower, our sinks. We went from a single to a double sink, new vanity, countertops, and mirror, the whole shebang. New surrounding. They got rid of our mold. 5-star bath solutions of Minneapolis completely transformed our bathroom in 48 hours, and that's their promise. Free consultations, affordable payment plans. If you have a big project, a small project that you don't want 8 weeks to get done, contact 5-star bath solutions of Minneapolis, and they will get your project done in 48 hours. 5-star bath solutions of Minneapolis. Okay, Mehki Blackmon gets traded to the Indianapolis Colts, and the Vikings get another 6th-round pick. And here are the list of picks the Vikings have in 2026. A first, a second, 2 thirds, 3 fifths, 2 sixths, and 2 7th-round picks. That is a total of 11 draft picks in 2026 for the Minnesota Vikings organization. And here's my promise. I guarantee this right here. The Vikings have no interest in keeping 11 of these picks. They are gathering compensation or capital, whatever you want to call it, so that they can acquire an Adam Theilen or trade for another corner. Because those are the 2 positions that are not solidified on the Vikings roster. Because corner, you got Byron Murphy Jr., you've got Isaiah Rodgers, you got Jeff Okudah. And then it's like, what? What else do you got? And Jeff Okudah isn't some reliable corner that's locked down. He's hoping to have a revitalized season. If Byron Murphy Jr. or Isaiah Rodgers go down with an injury, the Vikings are in major trouble at the corner position. And teams will be able to expose the Vikings. Because what they're going to do is they're going to have 8 or 9 guys in pass protection and have 2 receivers go out as the Vikings blitz, and they're going to expose those guys. So this draft capital is to regain some players at the corner or receiver position, I should say. And this becomes a very fascinating situation because the Vikings don't have months to make some deals happen. They have 2 weeks until the start of the regular season. So the Vikings are going to need to make some moves here and trade or sign some corners. And who those players are going to be is really going to be the storyline. And it's really going to be an interesting week or 2 because they can't sit on their hands. They need to wheel and deal, make some phone calls, sign some players that they think can play. And I will say this. Nobody does a better job in the NFL than Kwesi Adofo-Mensah at admitting they're wrong and moving off a player. We've seen the whole 2022 draft class basically leave besides 2 players. So nobody does a better job as far as decision makers go within the NFL at admitting they're wrong than Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. And the reason why I know that is because nobody has needed to admit that they are wrong more than Kwesi Adofo-Mensah.
Drops the sledgehammer.
Because has there been anyone more wrong than Kwesi Adofo-Mensah as far as draft picks go? So at the bare minimum, the Vikings general manager has proven that he is not going to hang on to a player longer than most would. Longer than he thinks he should. because he'll either cut him or trade him. And this also brings up another point, because when analyzing the cornerback position this offseason for the Vikings, I'll casually just say, well, we got Byron Murphy, we've got Isaiah Rodgers, we got Mehki Blackmon coming back off a torn ACL. People like him. And we've got to be careful about throwing people around casually, because now Mehki Blackmon isn't even on the Vikings roster anymore. I just assume that he would be a part of the team. Coming back from his ACL, he'll be ready, he'll be good. Now he's not even on the team anymore. It's another player the Vikings need to replace. So just almost a lesson for all of us that are discussing players and positions and who plays those positions and who's coming back from injury as if they're a guarantee or a lock to make the team. And we should really change the way we approach those discussions based on the player. Because if Justin Jefferson gets injured, well, obviously you can assume that he's going to come back and be a part of the Vikings rotational receivers and become the best receiver in the league again. If a Mehki Blackmon gets injured, there is no guarantee that he's going to come back and be on the roster. So it's a learning lesson for me. It's a learning lesson for you, because for years I just would see a player get hurt and just assume he's going to be back. But we shouldn't be assuming these things, especially for players like a Mehki Blackmon, who is an average player. And he's been working with the 2s and 3s throughout training camp. Needed a fresh start. He wasn't going to play in Minnesota. So you send him to the Colts, give him a chance there. So anyway, just something to think about and something to consider. But the Vikings have 11 draft picks. They aren't holding on to all those draft picks. And now it's wait and see. Who are the Vikings going to target? Who are they going to trade for? Because they need to make something happen. They can't go into the season with the receiver or cornerback room that they have right now, or you're looking at a major issue moving forward. All right, thanks for joining the show today. Remember to check out 5 Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis and check out Hoagland Farms Beef, because Hoagland Farms Beef has the best rotationally grazed 100% grass-fed beef. Contact Jared at 952-491-1541. It's better for you and it's financially responsible. Steaks, chuck roast, ribs, beef, $4 a pound. Go to the store, you're looking at $5 to $6 a pound for the hamburger beef, and then you're looking at $9 to $10 a pound for steak and chuck roast. Hoagland Farms. Contact Jared at 952-491-1541, and he'll give you 20% off your first order. 20% off. 952-491-1541.